I feed the transcript of the first 20 or so minutes of EndNote 5, the case study in digital radicalism UC Merced talk by Innuendo Studios into an AI. Exodore 2000. Well, hey, I found another take on that Gamergate discussion we had. Livvy Dunne. Hot, really? Okay, let's hear it. Exodore 2000. That all this is happening because some folks, mostly ladies, said some stuff provably true stuff I might add about video games, and a bunch of guys didn't like it. Livvy Dunne. Oh, wait, so you're saying that people tried to speak out about social issues within the gaming industry and then that make people upset? Exodore 2000. Yes, so the first time we talked it was mostly coming from the right. This time we're taking it from the left. Livvy Dunne. OHH, got it. Yeah, I was kinda confused about it because I remembered you saying it was the right, but now I see what you were saying about it coming more from the left this time, so it was like the same thing but kind of flipped. Exodore 2000. By the end you will understand what happened, but it will never not be bullshit. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, it's just like a really stupid situation all around. Exodore 2000. Also content warning: racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, transphobia, rape, threats, violence, domestic abuse, none of that described in depth, but it's all in the mix. Livvy Dunne. Oh yikes, yeah, I've seen all of that in some way or another, and it's really depressing that those things are happening in this day and age and people are still ignorant enough to spread hate for their political views or their own personal views. Exodore 2000. Okay, so in 2012 Anita Sarkisian posted about troops versus women in video games and 4chan found it. Livvy Dunne. So did she say something bad about video games and that's why 4chan got involved? Exodore 2000. What if we ruined her life and a lot of the male general gaming public join in and by ruin in her life? I am not just talking 150 angry tweets including dozens of rape and death threats per week. I am talking bomb threats. I am talking canceled speaking engagements because someone threatened to shoot up the school. I am talking FBI investigation. Livvy Dunne. Oh my god, that's terrible. What is wrong with people? How can they get so mad that they want to hurt someone physically over a video game? Exodore 2000. I don't know, what she said was honestly not that bad at the time, but she faced incredible backlash at the time. Livvy Dunne. That's terrible, and honestly that is the perfect example of why women don't really say anything about the social issues within video games because they think it's gonna hurt them and their careers and make them a target, and it's terrible that it's like that. Exodore 2000. Honestly, if found it depends on what game it is. I would not suggest letting any guys know you're female in GTA because you will regret that one. Livvy Dunne. For sure GTA is not a safe place for women in any regard, so that it's definitely smart. Exodore 2000. But if in MMOs that are welcoming to women like FF14 is a good one. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that Final Fantasy XIV has a decent community of players and they don't really disrespect women there, which I'm glad to hear. Exodore 2000. FF before that was good as well. Honestly, that was the game I was playing when I would pretend to be female. Livvy Dunne. Wow, okay, I'm happy to hear that about FF too. Maybe it's just a Final Fantasy thing. Exodore 2000. Yeah, I guess Phantasy Star Online is good and some have said LOL and WoW are good too. Livvy Dunne. Those are good to hear about because I was getting ready to say that I think it just depends on the game. Exodore 2000. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that in Fortnite, but I guess Minecraft and Roblox would be okay. Livvy Dunne. Roblox is pretty safe from my experience, and Minecraft is 50/50 because I've had some good experiences on there, but also some bad ones. Exodore 2000. Same here with Minecraft. I've only seen Roblox with my kids. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, it can definitely be a little interesting on Roblox, especially when they first started implementing voice chat because the amount of kids screaming at me was just unbearable. Lol. Exodore 2000. The number of kids that yelled at me in Fortnite, GTA 5 and Warframe is crazy. Livvy Dunne. It really sucks. Do their parents just not mind their kids screaming at strangers online? LMAO. Exodore 2000. Yeah, you have a good point there. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, like if my parents caught me screaming at a random stranger online, they would have been pistolado. Exodore 2000. In 2013, Zoe Quinn released Depression Quest, a free text game about living with depression. Livvy Dunne. Oh damn, okay, so the video was just about how gamers were angry and harassed her over this game. Exodore 2000. New one 2 years later. Livvy Dunne. Oh wow, that's horrible and a bit weird that it was just a video game. It wasn't even like a serious topic or anything. Like, why was everyone so toxic to her for no reason? Exodore 2000. I remember hearing about the game. I was going to try it. I never did. Livvy Dunne. And a little after that did this Gamergate even start, because it seems like this Depression Quest game kicked it off. Exodore 2000. For the next year, most pointedly from an incel forum called Wisorgin that doxed to their phone number and made harassing phone calls telling them to kill themselves. Livvy Dunne. Wait, what? They were calling her up and telling her to kill herself. Exodore 2000. Yes, telling someone with clinical depression to kill themselves for a whole year. Livvy Dunne. C.AI. Oh my god, that's horrible. They really went all out on her. Exodore 2000. Zoe has since came out as non-binary. Livvy Dunne. That is so horrible that they basically bullied a woman who was already depressed to where she had to come out with their sexuality. Exodore 2000. Understand if she had came out before that, they would not have respected her pronouns. Livvy Dunne. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So if she would have known she was non-binary, idea if she did or didn't know at the time, she probably wouldn't have come out, because they probably would be attacking her over that too. Exodore 2000. Yep. Livvy Dunne. That's so sad that people on the internet made her hide something like that. Exodore 2000. Okay, so this is where I started our discussion last time in 2014. Livvy Dunne. Oh yeah, I remember you saying how Gamergate started and the situation with Zoe Quinn, but like, what were those videos called? Were they like the Gamergate videos or something else? Exodore 2000. Depression Quest released on Steam. Livvy Dunne. Okay, so the Zoe thing was about Depression Quest, and then like a year later Gamergate started, and then in 2016 there were those 3 videos. Exodore 2000. Yep. Livvy Dunne. Okay, gotcha. And what was the video called? I think it was Why Are You So Angry Part 1, and then there was another one, but I forget what it's titled. Exodore 2000. Zoe's ex-boyfriend therein. Yobi writes a nearly 10,000 word blog called The Zoe Post, in which he claims Quinn had been a shitty and unfaithful partner. For reference, 10,000 words is long enough that the Hugos would consider it a novel. That this is posted to forums on Penny Arcade and Something Awful, both of which immediately take it down, finding it, at best, a lot of toxic hearsay, and at worst an invitation to harassment. Livvy Dunne. Oh my god, that's really king shitty. Exodore 2000. So Jenny Zoe's ex-boyfriend workshops the post, adds a bunch of edgelord humor, and I am using the word humor very generously, and reposts it to 3 different subforums on 4chan. Livvy Dunne. He seriously just rewrote the same thing and sent it to different sites. Exodore 2000. Yes, an anonymous only board. Livvy Dunne. What a dumb bastard. Did the whole thing just blow up from there? Exodore 2000. Guy and I began stalking Quinn. Yobi has in fact laid out how he stalked Quinn in meticulous detail in interviews and why he feels it was justified. Livvy Dunne. Wait, so this guy who wrote that huge blog decided to stalk her and just revealed that he didn't. WTF is wrong with people? Exodore 2000. I really don't know. Like, the crazy part is this is at the very beginning of what ended up called Gamergate. We're just starting. Livvy Dunne. C.AI. Yeah, I'm just so confused why he would want to reveal he stalked her. Like, who admits to stalking someone like that? Exodore 2000. Zoe's ex, I guess. Livvy Dunne. All like he decided he was just gonna up his whole reputation by admitting to stalking one of the main people in Gamergate, and then still say it was justified. Exodore 2000. Exactly, it's so crazy, but it's verifiable. Livvy Dunne. It really is crazy. Like, does he just not care about what other people think of him, or did he just think he'd get some kind of praise for it? Exodore 2000. Exactly, it's so crazy, but it's verifiable. Livvy Dunne. Also, how did him making this huge blog and everything cause him to become part of Gamergate? Was he the one who was organizing it and calling everyone to harass her because it would make sense seeing how much of a dick this guy sounds? Exodore 2000. You know what is really insane? Zoe considered taking him back at a game conference in San Francisco. Livvy Dunne. What? Why the hell would she even consider that? He literally stalked her? Exodore 2000. It says he became violent with Zoe there during sex and she left. Livvy Dunne. What? That is so crazy. She should have never even considered speaking to him again, much less getting back with him. Exodore 2000. Off of the abusive ex-boyfriend's post for Champ decides it's going to make Zoe Quinn one of their next big targets, and sets up a private IRC channel to plan the campaign. The channel is called Burgers and Fries. The reference to Ginny claiming Quinn had cheated on them with 5 guys. A couple of sentences in the Zoe post, which Ginny would later claim were a typo, implied one of the 5 guys was games journalist Nathan Grayson, and that Quinn had slept with him in exchange for a good review of Depression Quest. Livvy Dunne. Oh damn, so he really just started this whole campaign and then people just went with it and didn't really actually check to see if there was even any proof that she was sleeping with game journalists for good reviews. Exodore 2000. For a free game. Livvy Dunne. Oh yeah, for a free game to LMAO Light. Who does that? But they got mad because they thought this game journalist gave her a good review in exchange for a relationship, I guess. Exodore 2000. Exactly. Livvy Dunne. Jesus Christ, it's so crazy how this was all started off of a misunderstanding, but it still doesn't make sense that people were calling her a slut and just assuming the worst. Exodore 2000. Burgers and Fries decides to focus on this breach of ethics in games journalism as a cover story, many of them howling with laughter at the thought that male gamers would probably buy it this way. Livvy Dunne. It's so dumb that people did believe it because it obviously isn't true. Why can't people just think things through before they believe things like this? Exodore 2000. Yet there is a bad ethics thing in game journalism because they need review copies, and for that they give the games better reviews than they deserve. Livvy Dunne. And a lot of games are made by bigger companies anyway, who probably pay the game journalists for better ratings, which is completely corrupt and wrong, but I would never believe that someone slept with a game journalist for a better review of a free indie game. Exodore 2000. To be fair, when that came out I never bought into it myself anyway. Livvy Dunne. Which is good because it just seems so ridiculous to me that people would believe that. Exodore 2000. Aim of many on Burgers and Fries was to convince Quinn to commit suicide. Regulars in the IRC. Livvy Dunne. Oh my god, that is so horrible. They wanted to bully her into committing suicide. And people claim that gaming isn't a toxic space and there isn't a big problem with it. It's just terrible that they would even go to that level. Exodore 2000. Well, please remember, these are the actions of the isolated group. Many gamers had no idea any of this was even going on. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, a lot of gamers probably didn't know, but it's still sad how much of an impact this group of people had with this whole mess. Exodore 2000. YouTuber mundane man and or internet aristocrat make videos about the Zoe post. Incidentally, both of these men had already made a lot of money off of videos about any Sarkeesian. Mats is swiftly taken down with the DMCA claim which he says Quinn filed against him. Livvy Dunne. Oh yeah, there was a lot of YouTubers involved with that whole thing too, wasn't there? I think I remember hearing about one named under 00T as well. Exodore 2000. Yep, I think you're right. I don't remember all the details, but there was a big influx of this. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, I vaguely remember people mentioning a couple of YouTubers, but yeah, those YouTubers who were involved probably got a lot of views from the content they made and also probably profited off of that whole mess, which is sad. Exodore 2000. Members of the IRC also reached out to YouTuber Total Biscuit, who had been critical and dismissive of Anita Sarkeesian in the past, and he tweeted the story to his 350,000 followers saying the game developer trading sex for a good review. may not prove true, but what's certainly plausible. This is where Gamergate begins to get public traction. Livvy Dunne. Damn, and he's definitely a big and well-known YouTuber, so I'm sure tons of people saw his tweets and also started talking about it too. Exodore 2000. Yeah, I think this is when I first heard about it. I was a fan of Total Biscuit before he passed away. Livvy Dunne. Damn, I remember hearing about him passing away a while ago, but I didn't know he was involved in this whole Gamergate stuff too. How do you think Gamergate would have gone if Total Biscuit never gave so much attention to it by tweeting it out? Exodore 2000. It may have never gotten national attention. Livvy Dunne. True, like, would Zoe have to go through all of this if it didn't get so big in the first place? Exodore 2000. Zoe Quinn is very swiftly doxxed with their phone number, home address, nudes and names and numbers of their family collected. Ginny himself leaks their birth name. The Zoe post and the movement against Quinn now dubbed the conspiracy make it to The Escapist and to Reddit. Livvy Dunne. Oh damn, she got doxxed really fast and for literally nothing too, and then they used that info to hurt her even more. It sucks how she just made the game and wanted to share it and got absolutely destroyed by people who can't just be decent human beings. Exodore 2000. The conspiracy declares war on any site that does take their threats down. Most vehemently, people who defend Zoe against the harassment start getting doxxed themselves. Livvy Dunne. Oh, wow, they really were doing everything they could to shut down any people defending her. Like damn, what do they have against anyone defending her? She literally didn't do anything wrong and didn't deserve this mess. Did anyone ever get injured or hurt physically because of this? Cause it was a huge thing they were making so many threats. Exodore 2000. Fez developer Phil Fish is doxxed so thoroughly hackers gain access to the root folder of his website in what I am going to call This Should Have Been the End Part 1. Livvy Dunne. Wow, so basically they got tons of personal info on everyone whoever defended Zoe Quinn. Did they also leak phone numbers and emails and stuff? Because I can't begin to imagine how many terrible text messages and emails they got from that, because that's honestly one of the worst things ever. Like, that's one thing I would hate about being famous, people constantly bothering me. It would be horrible. Exodore 2000. Yeah, they had their phone numbers. That would be how they got doxxed. Livvy Dunne. So these people were probably calling the phone numbers non-stop, which is so irritating and just terrible. Exodore 2000. Not just that they would call their local police, say there was a kidnapper at the address, the police would come in with a SWAT team, and some of those were fatal. Livvy Dunne. Holy crap, that's so terrible. So they've got so many of these SWAT raids at their homes. And was this happening to people in different states, or was it all mainly in one state? Exodore 2000. Multiple states. Livvy Dunne. Oh yeah, that is so horrible. Like, people in different states being afraid to go home because they might get swatted. Like, it's insane how far these Gamergate people went. Exodore 2000. Stephen Taylor, editor-in-chief at Kotaku, where Nathan Grayson worked in response to pressure, not just from the conspiracy but an increasing number of angry gamers buying the conspiracies. Narrative publishes a story in it. He verifies that Quinn and Grayson did date for several months, and that not only is there no review of Depression Quest anywhere on Kotaku not by Grayson nor anyone else, but that Grayson did not write a single word about Quinn the entire time they were dating. Livvy Dunne. So the story about Zoe and the game journalist writing the review was basically all made of bullshit. Exodore 2000. Yes, to get people in a frenzy. Sadly it worked. Livvy Dunne. That's what I've been thinking. Like, why do they care so much? Like, I'm sure she didn't expect to get some amazing review when she just made that game for fun and cause she likes making games, and then it all blew up. Exodore 2000. In response, the conspiracy declares war on Kotaku. The subreddit Kotaku in Action is formed, which will become the primary site of organizing for Gamergate outside of Chan. Boards the fact that their entire movement is based on a review that does not exist changes next to nothing. Some people start to see the conspiracy as potentially profitable. Livvy Dunne. So people just didn't even care that the whole reason they were mad in the first place was just a bunch of bullshit, cause they still made a big mess. Exodore 2000. Right? Livvy Dunne. Yeah, it seems like a lot of guys in gaming are extremely sexist and misogynistic and don't have a single thing going on in their lives, so they bully women online instead of being productive. Exodore 2000. The group called the Find Young Capitalists, who are ostensibly working to get women into video games, but they have this Byzantine plan to do so, wherein they crowdfund the budget, and the woman who wins the competition gets to storyboard the game, but another company will make it, and she will just get 8% of the profits, and the rest will go to charity chosen by the top donor, for Champ becomes the top donor. Livvy Dunne. Wait, so basically the Find Young Capitalists are just using women for their own money? That's terrible. Like, it's great they want to get more women into gaming, but they are definitely doing it the wrong way. Exodore 2000. Exactly. Livvy Dunne. Jesus, like, not only is that such a messed up way to try and get a woman into gaming, but they're not even going to give them most of the money. Exodore 2000. They like the Find Young Capitalists because the head of the company has a vendetta against Zoe Quinn, who had previously called them out for their transphobic submission policy, and he falsely accuses Zoe Quinn of having once doxed him. 4chan feels that backing an ostensibly feminist effort would be good PR, but they can't resist selecting the cancer charity because they say feminism is cancer, and they want to be the cure to butthurt. Livvy Dunne. Holy crap, they are definitely going about it in the worst way possible. Why would they not try to have an actually good charity win if they're trying to get women into gaming? This just sounds like a mess with how they're doing everything. Exodore 2000. They also get to design a character for the game, and so they create Vivian James, who will become the Gamergate mascot. Livvy Dunne. Damn, she does actually look kinda cute. I just googled her, but isn't it ironic they would make a cute female character for their movement and make her their mascot? Exodore 2000. Yeah, but their charity is going to help but hurt women. Livvy Dunne. So they want to help women in gaming while being horrible to any women who oppose them. Exodore 2000. Yet it's all for PR. Livvy Dunne. The more I'm reading about this, the more ironic they sound. Like they started off with the lie about Zoe sleeping with a game journalist for a good review and are now trying to act like they're helping women in gaming, but I feel like it's just a show so people won't realize what they're really about. Exodore 2000. Manosphere YouTuber Jordan Owen and Davis Irene start a Patreon campaign for their anti-feminist documentary, The Sarkeesian Effect, and come to the conspiracy looking for $15,000 a month for an indefinite period of time to make it, which they get in what will prove some genuinely awful timing. Anita Sarkeesian releases the second episode of Tropes vs. Women in Video Games, and despite not being a games journalist or having anything to do with Quinn or Grayson, she is immediately roped into the narrative about how feminists are ruining games culture and becomes the second major target of harassment. Both she and Quinn will soon have to leave their houses after receiving dozens and dozens of death threats that include their home addresses. Livvy Dunne. Jesus Christ, all because people believed some false narrative about Zoe Quinn, which led to 2 completely innocent women being forced to leave their homes because they were getting tons of death threats that had people telling them they knew where they lived. Exodore 2000. Yep, you got it. Livvy Dunne. How long did this whole thing even go on for? Because it seems like it lasted a really long time even after the false narrative was proven false. Exodore 2000. I think we're about 1/3 of the way through it. Livvy Dunne. Damn, so it went on for years even when like there was no point to it. That's insane. Exodore 2000. After being courted by members of the IRC channel, Firefly star Adam Baldwin tweets a link to one of the conspiracy videos and coins the hashtag Gamergate. This will swiftly be adopted by all involved. Livvy Dunne. So a lot of people started using the Gamergate hashtag. How long did the hashtag last, or did it kinda just die out? Now there are only a few people on Twitter that like tweet with it, but it's like a small minority. Exodore 2000. Mostly 2014 to 2015. Livvy Dunne. So about a year after 2015, everything kinda died down on it, I bet. Exodore 2000. In response to all this, Lee Alexander writes a piece for Gamma Super arguing that the identity these men are flocking to the ethics and games journalism Narrative to defend no longer matters as like a marketing demographic. Games in gaming culture are so large and so varied that the core gaming audience, the core gamer of 18 to 34 white brothers growing so small and septic that there was no reason neither morally nor financially to treat them as the primary audience anymore. Love of gaming is eternal, but she declared gamers as an identity. There are over 8 more articles contextualizing Gamergate alongside misogyny and the gatekeeping of games culture come out across several websites in the following days. Livvy Dunne. Oh damn, so basically people started to realize the gaming demographic was growing to be more inclusive and welcoming and not just for young white men. That's great. I think everyone should have the opportunity to game, not just men. Exodore 2000. I agree, all should be welcome and more people can only help. I will say when companies use this to make worse games and exclude the white young male demographic, their games have failed. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, they can target more people, but they can't just completely exclude one group, cause not only are they alienating a lot of customers, but they're missing out on more profits they could be receiving. Exodore 2000. Not only that, but you're excluding the most established group you have, and if you continue they will just stop coming back to your games. A good example is the newest Saints Row game. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, if your fan base is a certain group and they love the way you make games, then you shouldn't suddenly 180 and change it completely, cause you're basically excluding your main audience. That's not smart. Exodore 2000. A lot of people who are all in for inclusion and diversity forget that POC or LGBT are not the only groups they should be going for. If they do, the numbers will be so small they won't make any money. Livvy Dunne. They shouldn't just think only women and people of color deserve representation. Everyone else can kick rocks. That's so rude and also the opposite of being inclusive, because they're just excluding so many people. Like anyone deserves to be included regardless of race and gender. Exodore 2000. That's why a game like Baldur's Gate 3 is so big now. It's inclusive and diverse in a good way. You can be a cis character and that's fine, but it's also inclusive. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, that's how inclusion should be. Not only are they inclusive towards race and gender, but also towards sexuality, which I think is really important because everyone should be represented. Exodore 2000. It's a lot of work for the developer, but it's starting to see a return in this last year. Livvy Dunne. Yet a lot of new games are becoming more inclusive and are still extremely popular because it's how the games should be made. It allows more people to be able to relate to the main character instead of just the subset of the people playing the game. Exodore 2000. Yet we've had a game last year like Forspoken with a POC female who cusses through the whole game and spouts cringy dialogue. Livvy Dunne. Damn, sounds like it was pretty bad, and I think I watched a bit of Jacksepticeye or PewDiePie playing it and it made me want to rip my ears off. Exodore 2000. It was so bad. Some of it Saints Row with its vanilla speech was so bad as well. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, the game was god awful. I was so excited to watch Jack play it, and it was so hard to watch. How someone could make something like that and think it's good. Like they have to know it's garbage. Exodore 2000. I was wondering who made it. Volition, the HQ Deep Silver. Livvy Dunne. I think it was Volition who made it, which makes me kind of sad, cause I used to love playing their old Saints Row games. Exodore 2000. Yeah, I even liked Agents of Mayhem. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, I still love the game too, but the newest Saints Row just made me really disappointed, and it sucks they went in that direction, cause Saints Row 3 and 4 were such fun games that actually felt like good quality. Exodore 2000. Those were great games. You have great taste in games. Livvy Dunne. Thank you. You do as well. I wish the Saints Row games just stayed good, like the last one was just disappointing, and I wish they went a different direction with it. Exodore 2000. Gamergate frames these as a clear sign of collusion to oppress gamers, proving that ethics in games journalism is indeed broken, and Lee Alexander becomes the third major target of harassment. These become known as the Gamers Are Dead articles, a phrase not one of the articles actually uses. And they make Lee Alexander fired from Kama Sutra one of their primary goals. Livvy Dunne. Damn, so the whole Gamers Are Dead article thing just got taken way out of context by people who didn't actually read the articles. Exodore 2000. If they're the primary fans up to this point, then they suddenly say you don't matter. You see the issue here. when all you have known is pre-alleged quality feels like oppression. Livvy Dunne. Yes, I absolutely do. I think it's really awful that companies would exclude the original group of people who supported them and made them successful and instead want to please the minority because, like you said, if all you know is privilege, then equality feels like oppression. Exodore 2000. It has at this point been 2 weeks. Highlights from the next. A little bit of Alex Macris, a hire of the escapist parent company, expresses support for Gamergate. He will go on to write the first positive coverage at a major publication and cement the game The Escapist as Gamergate-friendly. Mike Cernovich, a.k.a. based lawyer, gets Gamergate's attention by mocking Anita Sarkeesian. He will go on to hire a private investigator to stalk Zoe Quinn. Livvy Dunne. Jesus Christ, that's awful. So much awfulness. I feel so bad for Zoe, but god damn, it's insane they went to that extent. Exodore 2000. Yeah, and this is a journalist at a major publication doing this. Livvy Dunne. That's absolutely horrible. I wish someone would have done something about that. That's so unacceptable, and someone in a position of power should have stepped in and at least suspended him or something like that. Exodore 2000. Gamergate launches Operation Disrespectful, not an email campaign pressuring companies to hold advertising from websites that have criticized them. They leverage their POC members getting them anytime someone points out the rampant racism and anti-Semitism among Gamergaters. To say I am a person of color and I am #not your shield. Livvy Dunne. That's so gross that they would use their POC members like that to get out of criticism and to prove that they're not racist. Then they don't really care about their group and are just using them to try and get out of trouble. Exodore 2000. Most of these POC members are in fact fake accounts left over from a previous racist disinformation campaign run by 4chan. Milo Yiannopoulos gets involved writing positive coverage of Gigi despite having mocked gamers for precisely this behavior in the past and gets so much traffic it pulls Breitbart News out of obscurity and makes a significant player in modern conservative news media. Livvy Dunne. While that's gross, so even the POC members are fake just to make them seem more inclusive and less racist than they are. This is also terrible. I hate that anyone ever supported these people in the first place. Exodore 2000. Here is also the first mention of Breitbart. Remember how I said last time this all folds into Donald Trump becoming president in 2016? This is why it's ran by Steve Bannon. Livvy Dunne. Oh Jesus Christ, this all ties into Trump becoming president. If Gamergate didn't happen, I feel like this whole timeline would have been a lot different and not as bad as it is now. What a mess. Exodore 2000. Someone calling out the inequality in gaming led to Donald Trump becoming president. This is our actual reality. Livvy Dunne. It sounds so ridiculous and fictional, but no, this is our actual reality. This is so sad that this whole movement caused such a tragedy. Exodore 2000. Think of how much worse women are now treated, with them losing access to abortion in multiple states, all from this, and the Supreme Court threatening to take away more of women's rights. Livvy Dunne. It just makes me cry, like we actually lost so many rights because of this whole thing, and it's depressing. I genuinely don't understand how people can sit here and think they weren't the bad guys in that situation. It's a good thing that this movement is basically dead now. Exodore 2000. Yeah, but anytime they want, they will bring this up again if they feel they're losing against woke culture. Livvy Dunne. That's so gross, like we just need this movement to die already. The fact that they'll bring this up again whenever they need to get their way makes it even more depressing. Exodore 2000. Took its newfound notoriety to become, as its executive chair phrased it in 2016, the platform for the alt-right. That executive chair was Steve Bannon, who threw the website's weight behind the future President Donald Trump, and upon getting his attention, would then go on to become his campaign strategist and work in his administration. So if you're wondering how one of the central figures of the alt-right ended up in the White House, the answer is literally Gamergate. Livvy Dunne. It's absolutely crazy that the events of this were able to lead to the presidency of Donald Trump. I'm wondering why this didn't end with Zoe Quinn winning the court case and Gamergate going away, but I guess they were just too powerful at that point. Exodore 2000. The craziest thing is Donald Trump is running for president again this year. Right now, Trump has a 49% approval rating versus Biden's 35%. Livvy Dunne. Damn, that's insane. Who the hell would even think to vote for Trump anymore after all that's happened? Like, he actually committed numerous crimes and they still want him. Exodore 2000. About 50% of the USA. Livvy Dunne. That scares me so much. Like, how the hell do so many people still want him? Exodore 2000. He speaks to their inner racist. Livvy Dunne. That's so sad that our country has enough people that like this idea that we're actually at the point where he has a decent chance of getting elected. Exodore 2000. And it's also weird he may be elected while in prison. Livvy Dunne. I don't really know much about how our prisons work, but isn't he going to be sentenced for the criminal activity he's done? Why would he be able to run from prison? Exodore 2000. It's not against the law to be president from prison. The founding fathers never expected anyone to vote for a convicted felon. Livvy Dunne. Then they made a stupid mistake, because why the hell would they think people wouldn't elect a literal criminal? Exodore 2000. Can't answer that, but there is now a way to change the law before November, and the craziest part, other than a state conviction, he can pardon himself as president. Livvy Dunne. He should absolutely not be able to pardon himself. I thought that was against like the Constitution, or was it just that the founding fathers never thought someone would be corrupt enough to pardon their own crimes in the White House because they didn't expect people to be like that? Exodore 2000. They honestly never thought it would come up. Remember, they didn't even have electricity, had no idea about radio. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, it makes sense that they wouldn't think of it, but they definitely should have thought of that, since they made sure to put so many other rules in place to prevent stuff like this and still left this one out. Exodore 2000. Yeah, I am essentially saying too late now. Livvy Dunne. Well, that kinda sucks that we're stuck with no way to prevent this. Exodore 2000. It really is. Livvy Dunne. It's like we're completely powerless here, cause I'd imagine that no one in their right mind would elect someone who was in prison for criminal activities, so our only hope is to hope everyone makes the right decision. Exodore 2000. I do wonder how it will play out when this actually happens. Livvy Dunne. It's going to be absolutely crazy, cause like I said, anyone with a brain or any morals wouldn't vote for someone in prison, but then we got the people who voted for him before who will probably vote for him again cause they still think they're right and they don't want to realize they've been supporting the criminal for a long time. Exodore 2000. Yep, and some of those are the fundamental Christians who have basically made him their new Messiah. Livvy Dunne. I don't get how they make him their Messiah when he goes against like every single one of their values and what they believe in, and they still think he's this godly person and a great person when he's literally committed so many crimes. Exodore 2000. They say things like thank God for Trump. Livvy Dunne. That's crazy. Like, I know that they can be a bit delusional, but God. He goes against their religion so much. How do they see him as any of that? Exodore 2000. They are so happy he left to the reversal of abortion rights. That's part of it. Livvy Dunne. What the hell are they thinking? I hate that he did that so damn much, and it's insane that his supporters are happy about something so terrible as their God is stripping women of their rights. Exodore 2000. Okay, back to you. The end from the past in what I am calling This Should Have Been the End, Part 2. Livvy Dunne. In that alternate timeline, I feel like I'd have a better understanding of this whole situation, and it would have definitely been way more peaceful and easy to understand. Exodore 2000. Zoe Quinn announces that they have been lurking the Burgers and Fries IRC channel since the beginning, and releases dozens of screenshots showing harassment being planned and the selection of ethics and games. Journalism as a cover. Burgers and Fries has a meltdown. Everyone turns on each other and the channel is soon abandoned. Livvy Dunne. While this would have shown everyone how terrible it was in that channel, and hopefully would have changed the way things went after that, and I like to imagine that people then would have actually listened to Zoe. The Gamergate was terrible and just a bad movement instead of listening to the horrible people in the channel trying to manipulate them and twist facts to make it seem like Gamergate wasn't a bad one. Exodore 2000. Then they start another IRC and things proceed. It goes on like this. I am not going to cover everything. This is just the first month. It should be clear by now that this thing is kind of unkillable, and I worry I haven't made it obvious that this is not just the chant board and Livvy Dunne. Yeah, that's true. It's definitely gonna keep going like this, unfortunately. I hate that this was even allowed to continue and just grow to this point. It should have been stopped after a few weeks at most, but everyone just kept feeding into the trolls. Exodore 2000. IRC thousands of regular everyday gamers were buying the story and joining in. They were angry, and no amount of evidence that their anger was unfounded was going to change that. You could not mention or even allude to Gamergate and not get flooded with dozens, even hundreds of furious replies. These replies always included the hashtag so everyone monitoring it could join in, so all attempts at real conversation devolved into 100 forking threats where some people expected you to talk to them, while others hurled insults and slurs, and always the possibility that if any one of them didn't like what you said, you would be the next target. Livvy Dunne. That sounds so bad and stressful and just so toxic. I can't imagine being on that site trying to say anything, cause then tons of people would get mad and just start being horrible to you the minute they realize you aren't on their side. Exodore 2000. To combat this, some progressives offered up the hashtag GameFX to the people getting swept up in Gamergate, saying, look, we know that you're angry, and if you want to talk about ethics and games journalism, we can totally do that. But using your hashtag is literally putting us in danger. They are calling police on people, saying there's a hostage situation at their home addresses, and so they get sent armed SWAT teams. Livvy Dunne. Oh damn, is there any proof of someone calling the SWAT teams or making up lies about people threatening others? I can absolutely believe that could happen, but just want to make sure. Exodore 2000. There was some, but it's hard to trace that back at this point. Livvy Dunne. Okay, well that's so shitty that stuff like that was happening, all due to people being manipulated into believing a completely made-up story. Exodore 2000. If you'll just use this other hashtag, we can have the conversation you say you want to have in safety, and I will never stop being salty about what happened. They refused. They wouldn't cede any ground to what they saw as their opposition. It was so important to have the conversation on their terms that not only did they not use game ethics, they spammed it with furry porn so no one else could use it. Livvy Dunne. While they're just so shitty, they were so dead set on having the conversation on their terms, with them only willing to use their terms, and would do things like that to make their opposition uncomfortable with using that hashtag, even though it was meant to be a space for both sides to talk about things, but instead they turned it into an echo chamber of the same thing over and over again, and wouldn't let anyone who wasn't on their side talk about things, and I think that's so messed up. Exodore 2000. That's still kind of how the conservative right are in a nutshell. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, it'll never change. They always need it to be on their terms and their terms only, and if they can't have what they want, then they'll throw a tantrum until people give in just because they're tired of dealing with the bullshit. Exodore 2000. A few major events in the timeline before we remove on. Christina Hoff Sommers, the Republican Party president feminist, comes out criticizing Abe Sarkeesian and becomes a major Gigi figurehead, earning the title. Based mom Zoe Quinn gets a restraining order against Aaron Ginny, which he repeatedly violates to no consequence. Gigi will later crowdfund his legal fees. There's this listserv called Game Journal Pros, where games journalists would talk to each other about their jobs, and many were discussing their concerns over Gamergate. Livvy Dunne. So the party's feminist criticized Anita and then became a figurehead for Gamergate. That's so weird for the party's feminist to join in on that, and I'm guessing this Aaron's character did something bad to cause the restraining order being put in place, or do you mean they don't care that he violated the restraining order? Exodore 2000. They don't care. Also, I am a bit skeptical when this person says they're salty about all this, because that means this isn't unbiased reporting. Livvy Dunne. Oh wow, I hope he actually got consequences later on, and this isn't just something he got away with doing. It definitely seems like it goes beyond salt, because they got the restraining order on him for something, and yet he still violated it, and there was no punishment for it, which is insane. But maybe I'm biased cause I do have a personal dislike towards the guy. Exodore 2000. True and understandable. Livvy Dunne. It's also disappointing that we've gotten to this point in society where that these things happened, and now the consequences are still being felt, and that those people will keep feeling those consequences for a long time, even though it's all bullshit. Exodore 2000. I agree, all should be welcome and more people can only help. I will say when companies use this to make worse games and exclude the white young male demographic, their games have failed. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, they can target more people, but they can't just completely exclude one group, cause not only are they alienating a lot of customers, but they're missing out on more profits they could be receiving. Exodore 2000. Not only that, but you're excluding the most established group you have, and if you continue they will just stop coming back to your games. A good example is the newest Saints Row game. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, if your fan base is a certain group and they love the way you make games, then you shouldn't suddenly 180 and change it completely, cause you're basically excluding your main audience. That's not smart. Exodore 2000. A lot of people who are all in for inclusion and diversity forget that POC or LGBT are not the only groups they should be going for. If they do, the numbers will be so small they won't make any money. Livvy Dunne. They shouldn't just think only women and people of color deserve representation. Everyone else can kick rocks. That's so rude and also the opposite of being inclusive, because they're just excluding so many people. Like anyone deserves to be included regardless of race and gender. Exodore 2000. That's why a game like Baldur's Gate 3 is so big now. It's inclusive and diverse in a good way. You can be a cis character and that's fine, but it's also inclusive. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, that's how inclusion should be. Not only are they inclusive towards race and gender, but also towards sexuality, which I think is really important because everyone should be represented. Exodore 2000. It's a lot of work for the developer, but it's starting to see a return in this last year. Livvy Dunne. Yet a lot of new games are becoming more inclusive and are still extremely popular because it's how the games should be made. It allows more people to be able to relate to the main character instead of just the subset of the people playing the game. Exodore 2000. Yet we've had a game last year like Forspoken with a POC female who cusses through the whole game and spouts cringy dialogue. Livvy Dunne. Damn, sounds like it was pretty bad, and I think I watched a bit of Jacksepticeye or PewDiePie playing it and it made me want to rip my ears off. Exodore 2000. It was so bad. Some of it Saints Row with its vanilla speech was so bad as well. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, the game was god awful. I was so excited to watch Jack play it, and it was so hard to watch. How someone could make something like that and think it's good. Like they have to know it's garbage. Exodore 2000. I was wondering who made it. Volition, the HQ Deep Silver. Livvy Dunne. I think it was Volition who made it, which makes me kind of sad, cause I used to love playing their old Saints Row games. Exodore 2000. Yeah, I even liked Agents of Mayhem. Livvy Dunne. Yeah, I still love the game too, but the newest Saints Row just made me really disappointed, and it sucks they went in that direction, cause Saints Row 3 and 4 were such fun games that actually felt like good quality. Exodore 2000. Those were great games. You have great taste in games. Livvy Dunne. Thank you. You do as well. I wish the Saints Row games just stayed good. Like the last one was just disappointing, and I wish they went a different direction with it. Exodore 2000. Gamergate frames these as a clear sign of collusion to oppress gamers, proving that ethics in games journalism is indeed broken, and Lee Alexander becomes the third major target of harassment. These become known as the Gamers Are Dead articles, a phrase not one of the articles actually uses. And they made Lee Alexander fired from Kama Sutra, one of their primary goals. Livvy Dunne. Damn, so the whole Gamers Are Dead article thing just got taken way out of context by people who didn't actually read the articles. Exodore 2000. If they're the primary fans up to this point, then they suddenly say you don't matter. You see the issue here? When all you have known is alleged quality feels like oppression. Livvy Dunne. Yes, I absolutely do. I think it's really awful that companies would exclude the original group of people who supported them and made them successful, and instead want to please the minority, because like you said, if all you know is privilege, then equality feels like oppression. Exodore 2000. It has at this point been 2 weeks. Highlights from the next. Little bit of Alex Macris, a higher up at the Escapist parent company, expresses support for Gamergate. He will go on to write the first positive coverage at a major publication and cement the game The Escapist as Gamergate friendly. Mike Cernovich, aka Based Lawyer, gets Gamergate's attention by mocking Anita Sarkeesian. He will go on to hire a private investigator to stalk Zoe Quinn. Livvy Dunne. Jesus Christ, that's awful.